What's going on, guys? Dad Dash is back here, and I apologize today. I am using my mic on my iPhone. I don't have my microphone hooked in, and even when I do, sometimes the audio sucks. But if the audio sucks in this video, I apologize. Bear with me. I've got some points to make that I think you want to hear, okay? Number one point that I want to make today, right, is that if you are a gig worker right now, if you are doing gig work of any kind, whether it's DoorDash, Grub, and I'm on an order, by the way. I like to do this when I'm out. I'm not doing a ride along, and I'll decide to make point videos, you know, where I want to make a point and I want to talk about something. But if you're doing gig work right now, in any way, shape, or form, you should be doing multiple. You need to have multiple apps. Number one, that is the only way you should ever do gig work if you're full-time. Now, if you are not full-time, okay, and you are doing this part-time, then by all means, work one app. You don't need to have multiple apps necessary, but I'm talking to the people that are doing this as a primary form of income. The only way you can do gig work is by having as many opportunities for yourself to work as possible. Now, depending on where you work, depending on what your market is, will depend on how many apps you might need to work at a given time. Now, there's several types and ways of approaches. For me, I live in a rural market, a large market, lots of miles, right? So as a result, it's also much slower in my market because although it's saturated with dashers, whatever that means, I know it is saturated with dashers.
Turn left onto the
I'll see them sitting in the parking lot. I mean, I can recognize one right away. But it's not as big as a city. In other words, the order flow is slow. It's very slow. Except maybe on Saturday or Friday night dinner times, it may get fast. You can tell there's some nights where, for whatever reason, the area doesn't have a lot of dashers in it, and then it'll pick up significantly. But for the most part, it's a slow market during the day, during lunches, etc. Thereby, if I focused on one app, I would never survive. That's why you have to get good at figuring out what apps work when, if you're in a market like mine. Now, if you're in a metropolitan market, where I can drive about an hour and a half down the road and I can get into Washington, D.C., I would need to work two apps at a time because the order flow would be so strong from all of the apps, any app you turn on. Instacart, Ship, Grubhub, Uber Eats, DoorDash, you're going to be overwhelmed. So in that market, I would turn on maybe one, maybe two, or maybe with the assistance of Maximo and Driver Utility app, I would turn on 3 at a time, have all my parameters set up, and then just let it go to work. And if I knew the market, drive to the hotspot zones in the areas that I know I can get orders. Strategy, your market, it's all different. I cannot emphasize this enough. And I am seeing a huge debate brewing out there where there are people trying to convince you to do things that make absolutely no sense. And what I'm talking about is they're telling you that working one app, focusing on incentive programs within apps, and doing things that are absolutely employee behavior are going to somehow make you money. They will not. And I have, because I feel like I'm an individual that says I have to do things first before I speak on them. And I'm going to tell you that I have been experimenting a little bit, as much as I can handle it, because it's really terrible. It really is. Like when I look at what my earnings are, when I'm out here working like a business-like approach, and in this market, in this area, $25 to $35 an hour is, generated revenue per hour is excellent. I mean, and this market, that's probably a maximum because we are very rural. Our median income is like $28,000. It's a very it's not a rich area, okay, at all. And it's one of the reasons why I lived here and commuted and drove out of the area and brought a bigger salary back into the area. It's why a lot of people do that, because it's cheaper to live. And, there's more people that are living on less than there is living on more here. And that is all going to affect your experience when you're working gig work. Hence, why you have to go after and find the bigger orders, generate as many order opportunities as you can, and then pick the best one at the given moment. If you are not doing that, you're not going to make money. It is just that simple. And I'm proving that when I have gone off and said, okay, let me work what DoorDash gives me. I've one time I did every order. I've not quite got that. There's been a few times I've had to turn stuff down. I am only because, and I will emphasize this, I am only trying to get Top Dasher right now because I was given a reset to my acceptance rate. However, there was no way in the world I was going to do it without that. And all I'm trying to do right now is maintain my acceptance rate at 70%, and that alone has been very challenging. And yesterday, I about went mentally insane because I was trying to do it, and I actually dropped below 70 because it was just so terrible. I made $14 gross revenue per hour while I was out, and that was just terrible. And even driving a Prius, you're coming dangerously close to losing profitability. And I'm just not going to come out and be unprofitable, although I still looked at my profits and still made money for the day. I just did not make as much money as I wanted. And that's difficult for me to handle because it's my time, and my time is valuable, and that time is taking me from my family and other things I could be doing that I feel I can get better value out of, which is why I put a video out that talked about valuing your time. And you need to value your time, and you need to make sure you're doing things that put a value on your time. So listen, guys, do not listen to these people out here who are trying to sell you something. And what I see is there is a danger culture that has started to come onto the YouTube area. And that is the culture of taking advantage of people who are hurting and trying to make money off of them by scaring them into by I guess not scaring them necessarily, they're already scared, but by going in on their fears and then trying to monetize their fear by someone telling them that, hey, I can help you and get you something. And the thing is it's so dangerous because what it does is it just makes those people that are hurting, that don't have a lot, that aren't doing well, they have less, because now they're going to pay somebody money for a supposed solution that doesn't exist, that they can find on their own, that they can find for free out here, because there are creators out here that the only dime they would ever take is maybe off of if they monetize their channel, and they got money off the views of YouTube as they're going around putting out instructional videos and trying to do things that are helpful, and hoping that you can reach enough people that you can make a little extra cash off of that, and it becomes like a separate gig. Not a huge thing, not a wealth builder, but just something to help people. But it really bothers me because my idea here was to help people, and that we don't have enough help and we don't have enough resources. So I wanted to become a resource and help, and hopefully other people become resources, and we create like a really fantastic unit of people putting ideas out. And that's what makes this YouTube experience beautiful for me, at least, or at least it was just how you could have people, you could really gain information from people putting their own ideas out. And that seems to be being lost, because what we're going to now is a very dangerous place. Because when people don't make money, when people start giving people their money with expectation, the whole thing goes awry, because eventually they're going to realize what other people, what experienced drivers are realizing is, listen, dude, you don't have the answers, right? Nobody does. I don't have the answer for your market. And it's a dangerous proposition for me to think that I can tell you what I did in my market and tell you exactly how you're going to make money in your market. I can't without coming to your market. I mean, if you want to pay me to come to your market, but here's the thing, your margins for making money makes no sense to pay someone to come to your market, analyze your market, come in and tell you what you need to do. You're going to have to learn that yourself. And if you're not capable of doing it, find something else, because you're not going to be able to make money paying someone to do it for you. So anyways, guys, I really wanted to get this out because I just, the more I'm watching, the more I'm seeing, and I subscribe to every channel. I like my, YouTube, and I'm just seeing it, and it's really bothering me because there are people out here that want to help you. I am one of them. I'm not going to sell you a t-shirt. I'm not going to sell you a swag. That's not my point, right? My point is to help you. My point is to bring you information and perspective that can help you think and help you be better. And that's it. And I'll leave it there, guys. Hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed today's video and help get this information out. Hit that share button and share it with at least one person. And hit that like button to let YouTube know and everyone know, if you watched this video, that you thought this information was helpful and valid. And I'll be talking to you guys soon.